Hello guys, how are we going? So, welcome to another one. It's another live chat today. We're going to be talking to Kevin. Kevin's a friend from work, so he does pretty cool, amazing stuff to do with voice acting, and obviously he worked quite a bit with the tourism guy as well. So we just wait for Kevin to come and join us. Here he is. Invite Kevin. Done. Just push the accept button, then we'll get started. So yes, oh there it is. That was quick.
Hey
He
mate,
was ready.
how you doing?
Hey mate, how you going? Can you hear me all right?
Mm,
Oh, cool.
got my
All right,
headphones in.
nice. So how are things?
Yeah, things are all right.
Going all right?
Lockdown
Yep,
part two. Um,
yep. Part two.
yeah, this one's a bit strange. The first lockdown I handled really well. I was
Yep,
super productive. I was like
yep,
reading 5 books and
yep,
deleting emails and like
yep.
organizing my entire life. And then this one has just been like, I guess I'll get up.
I
So it's
guess
a bit of a change.
this one here was a bit of a quick one. It was a snap. It was the last time to give us plenty of warning before it's going to
Yes.
happen.
Yeah.
Where with this one is pretty much all right. Tomorrow, lockdown.
Yeah.
So it wasn't much time to mentally prepare or physically prepare for it as well.
No, but it'll be good to get back to our lockdown workouts.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited for
Yeah.
that.
So we used to do like a 5 o'clock boxing workout on a video workout. It was fun. So we'll get back into it and
Yeah,
lose a few kgs from all the
I
lockdown
know.
chocolate I've been having.
Yeah, I just ate like half a roast last night, so it's
Uh,
like the crackling's too good, man. You can't
oh,
deny the crackling.
no, it's just like crackling and chocolate is the two evils. It's terrible. All right, this is Kevin. Why don't you introduce yourself, my friend?
Yeah, so I've been at Weta for over 3 years now with their tourism division. So I started out as a tour guide doing tours day in, day out. And over the past 3 years, I've kind of moved into um, more of an events and tours position that can do um, a lot of training. I've been working a lot with Unleashed and the Auckland crew as well, but also a lot of the off-site events that we go to for either VIP guests or extravagant extravagant experiences. So we did like International Hobbit Day in 2020, and that was really cool. They dressed
Yeah,
me up
man.
as an orc for that
Yes.
entire festival, and that was the first time that a lot of people had actually seen anything like that
Yep.
in person.
Yep.
And it was also like the first big event that people could go to after lockdown.
Mm.
So it was really special in that way. It was also the first time I had been to Hobbiton. So it's like I
Yep.
will never beat that experience going to Hobbiton again. Like if
Uh,
I decide to go, it's like
yeah.
it's gonna pale in comparison.
Yeah. I
But
mean, like, I've been to Hobson a few times, but the next time I go, I have to make sure I go for the dinner, go for the banquet, for the night
yes,
tours.
it's so good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable, honestly. Everyone was just in such good spirits. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's, and I've been in New Zealand for 6 years now because a lot of people will be like, he doesn't have a Kiwi accent. Although my vocab's changed significantly.
Yeah.
Um, but as it should wherever you go, just so people can understand you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I came here in 2015 to finish my studies
Oh,
because
nice.
I wanted to study overseas. I had a
Mm.
lot of friends that did overseas exchanges and a semester here and there, but they
Yeah.
all said the exact same thing unprompted, which was as soon as they got comfortable they had to leave, which
Yeah.
it wasn't something that I was wanted to do. I wanted to actually settle in somewhere and get used to what it was like living
Oh,
abroad,
yeah, man. I
and
mean, like,
ended up loving it.
yeah, I mean, like, doing OE overseas is the best way to discover yourself. Is
Yeah,
as a person and if you're a creative person too, you have to explore the explore the world.
yeah,
You can't be stuck in one place. You have to go experience different cultures, different way people live. It's the best way
yeah.
to be a creative.
Because what year
Anyway,
did you get here?
I came here in 1991.
Yes, all right, yeah,
Yes, so it's quite a while now. So
yeah,
anyway, um, what obviously you don't just work at Weta, you have a lot of interests outside work as well, and
Yeah.
they are pretty awesome and something I'd love to hear more about. So what else do you do outside work, Kevin?
Yeah, so I do like performing outside of work, whether that is in a lot of different mediums. Voice acting has always been a passion since I kind of did a broadcasting degree after high school. But towards the end of high school, when I really started performing for stage productions, I was like, voice acting is a thing. And a lot of voice actors kind of say the same thing, where they discover that it's a thing, kind of that it's a real job for the first
Yeah,
time. And so that's kind of when it hit me. And so ever since, I've been kind of slowly but steadily kind of uh, auditioning and getting bits and pieces here and there. I
yeah,
mean, I haven't really had, it's not something that I can call continuous work at the moment.
yeah, yeah,
You have to really get a big break in order to kind of um, purge that wall that
yeah.
is professional voice acting, because there's
Mm.
like 30 people that they just use for everything, which is incredible. But
Yeah.
you have to kind of get up to that level before you can consider it your full-time job. And there's so many different areas of voice acting. There's commercials, and there's
Mm.
medical videos, and there's
Yeah.
audiobooks, and
Yeah.
there's character work. So I love character work stuff, because who doesn't?
Yeah.
But that's kind of where video games and you know, children's books that I've
Yeah.
auditioned for, all of these weird things. The most successful thing that I've done in that space would have been Bloons Tower Defense 6,
Oh
produced
yeah.
by Ninja Kiwi. So I'm two characters in that game, which has a pretty substantial following, which I didn't realize until I did it. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. Like, a
No.
lot of people play this game. So that
Also,
was fun.
it's like cool, no pressure.
Mm.
Yeah,
So,
man. I mean, like it makes sense. Every time you watch like a cartoon, like you watch Dragon Ball Z, you watch Naruto, it's always the same voice.
yeah.
So they all there's like the certain character traits will have the same voice all the time. The hero always kind of have the same guy. The villains always the same guy. So I guess you're right. It's probably a hard industry to crack into. It's probably the same as our industry too. As you get into the film industry, it's once you're in. But it's
Yeah.
just that step into the door is really hard.
And it's strange too, because it's like I'm not creating anything on the floor with you
Mm.
guys,
Yeah,
but I'm kind of the public's the net that kind of pushes out all of that
yeah,
creativity
yeah, man.
there. So it is like strange to it took me a while to kind of consider myself part of What a Workshop
Yeah.
officially, but after 3 years, you're like, oh yeah, like what we do is definitely contributes to the whole
Oh,
visage of what the workshop
oh yeah, man.
provides.
I mean, you guys are the public face of the company.
Yeah,
You get seen by the public all the time, and
yeah.
what you guys do and say, unfortunately, have a direct effect on the whole company. So
It's
don't
true.
screw it up.
Phew. Yeah, no, I've dodged a few bullets myself, but no, no, it's been awesome though. Just getting to meet all my friends on the workshop floor, and getting to actually try new creative things.
Yeah,
That's kind of one thing that I've loved since I've been there for the last 3 years, is just uh, kind of losing the fear of
yeah.
being bad at creative stuff, because
Oh,
you realize that all of the people that you work around that are so amazing and talented at what they do, they all started, years and years ago, and they've got thousands and thousands of hours of experience under their belt. But everyone at the workshop is just so incredibly well, generous with their time and patience. So really, really cool.
here's a question for you, Kevin. Have you done work on?
Voice work for unsolved mysteries. Hey, listen, I will. If they need a replacement, I will definitely be I have not, no, but I'll definitely jump on as the voiceover for that show. I love all of those like voiceover true crime shows. They're so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you start doing didn't you used to do like podcasts a little while ago?
Yes, so I had my one podcast that was called Kevin's Crew, and it was really fun, but it was my first attempt at a podcast. So your
Mm.
first attempt at anything isn't going to be your best.
Oh yeah.
But I had it going for a while, and it was
Mm.
quite fun. It was basically just a standard interview format,
Yep.
and it was just me shooting the breeze with my friends because I have so many friends who are talented in many different areas
Yep.
that it's just always going to be interesting.
Mm.
And it's a testament to the amazing, interesting people that I surround myself with.
Yep.
But that kind of I put too much pressure on myself, and
Mm.
I was doing it week by week, and it's
Yep.
like you
Yep.
need to organize yourself a bit
Yep.
more and back
Yep.
yourself up
Yep.
so that you're
Yep.
not burning yourself out with trying to get an episode out.
Yeah, and it's really hard
So
because like it's not your full-time job either. You have full-time work, and you try to make this stuff work at the same time. Is pretty hard.
yeah, it is, but this time around, so I planned another one in advance.
Nice.
So it's called Bullshitters, and it's a game show. It's a game show
Okay.
podcast. It's going to be fun.
Nice.
So it's basically kind of a mix between like Would I Lie to You and Jeopardy.
Oh, nice.
So basically, you have two contestants. You have a topic and four questions, and the
Yep.
questions are not your standard Jeopardy questions. They're not like a one-word answer question.
Okay.
They're something more broad. And so, I'm trying to think of a good example. Let's see. Why is the sky blue? Would be a
Okay.
good example, and so there's a kind of a scientific response that would
Yep.
warrant a correct answer for that. But a lot of people don't necessarily know the full and complete response to that.
Yep. Yep.
And so the whole idea of the game would be for contestants to improvise their way through the answer. And I would
Yep.
kind of grade them on a rubric of how well they did. And they can use humor or they can kind of just deadpan their answer and
Yep.
make it as silly as they want. So the whole idea is that it's supposed to be fun, but kind of
Yep.
a fun improv Jeopardy game.
Oh, yeah,
So
man.
hopefully that will be fun.
This sounds good. Sounds nice and light-hearted. So
Mm.
something that people can really get behind. I just had a thought. You talk about voice acting and character acting. With the 20th anniversary of Lord of the Rings this year, why don't you do a reading of the Lord of the Rings just bit by bit and do different characters?
I mean, I would love to.
Yeah, just do on your
My
podcast.
Smeagol needs some work, I think, but yeah, it would be quite cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, even
Or just
yeah, no, I mean, the thing with audiobooks are really fun.
Mm.
I've actually done two audiobooks, one for like a teacher from my high school, and the other one
Yep.
I did semi-professionally. It
Yep.
was their first book, and it was my first audiobook, so it kind
Yep.
of matched up. But they're an incredible amount of work if you're doing it alone.
Oh yeah.
That being said, live readings and just reading
Yeah.
aloud. I remember last lockdown, I read a few like Edgar Allan Poe poems at night in front of like
Yep.
a candle, and that
Yep.
was super fun. Like I love
Yep.
doing stuff like that. But not necessarily. Yeah, it's audiobooks. I found out the hard way are just an incredible mountain of work that is a team job. You need
Yes.
engineers and all sorts of people.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's fun though. I love the character stuff. When I get to be a dwarf or an orc for these events, and they
Yes.
dress me up in the prosthetics or your costume that I used to
Yeah.
get into,
That was
which
quite
if
fun.
people don't know that, yeah. So yeah, I used to get into Sanet's Erebor dwarven armor for some of the earlier events that we did, which was quite fun. And yeah, it's just awesome to actually just be one of those characters for a while and to see people's instant gratification
So,
from
so, so you pretty much like with you, if you were into a costume because you come with an acting background, you become the character, right?
it's
See, with me,
easier.
yeah. For me, it's different. I'm just someone who made the costumes. I'll wear my costume. I'm still me. So
Yeah.
like, except for that one photo. Okay, cool. I'll be the character for that 1 second for the photo, and then I'm just back to being normal.
I feel like, though, you do have an advantage when it comes to the physicality of posing for photos because
Yeah.
you have your martial arts background. So you're able to actually strike poses that are more like battle fit. You know, it's
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
when you were in your Power Rangers costume for your
yeah,
birthday party, it's like
yeah.
you were doing all of the correct poses for
Oh,
all the
what
photos that you were
that guy
taking.
right over there?
Yeah, that guy.
just
Um,
just being dodgy in the corner, looking at us.
Red Ranger wants to get some screen time.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, so that was super cool to see that other aspect of it. You know,
yeah, yeah,
cosplayers don't necessarily need to be a character on the floor, but they're going to be
yeah,
taking a lot of photos. So that's
yeah, yeah.
actually a huge skill
Mm.
in
Maybe
that aspect.
maybe we have to do some training together. You can train me how to be a character, and I'll exchange for some physical boxing technique.
Yeah. Hey, I love that.
We do
We'll
some school sharing.
it'll be good. Oh, we'll
Yep.
do a master class. It'll be fun.
Oh, it'd be awesome. I
The
mean, like,
ultimate cosplay artist.
yeah, I mean, like, I do feel that sometimes I have to be a bit more in the character. Sometimes I do. Sometimes, oh, just me being myself. But it'd be quite cool to one day to really delve into the character. Obviously, like
It
I can do it because I know that I have the mindset, but just to get over that shyness,
Yeah, I mean, it
that's the hard part.
depends. It depends on the characters that you want to play
Mm,
cosplaying wise as well, because
mm,
like cosplay is such a there's such a wide variety of, characters that you can
yeah,
portray.
yeah,
A lot of video game characters, though,
yeah,
especially like main lead characters, aren't actually that animated, I find,
yeah,
because you
yeah,
run into all these zany characters around. So some people take that road with it, and then but if you're, Master Chief, and it isn't exactly a
yeah.
wide character arc. So if
No,
you
no,
know, yeah, it's interesting. It just kind of depends on your choice. But yeah, no,
yeah.
it'd be fun. I would like to do some cosplay stuff, but it would just depend. I think it would need to be something simple enough that I could pull off with my limited skill set.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
like, there's no hurry. It could be something we can work on for a
Mm.
whole year. No, it's not like you must get it done in a month. It could
Yes.
be
No,
like
it's true.
can be worked on. Why don't we make you a dwarf?
Yeah, potentially. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's after doing so many events in those costumes, I'm
you want
a
something
bit
different.
wary. Yeah, I want
Yeah.
something different. Walking the floor in those huge boots because we use some of the Erebor boots that these guys had. I mean, and to anyone who doesn't realize or may not know, may not be a fan, but in The Hobbit, a
Mm.
lot of those actors are enormous. I
Yeah.
am not enormous. I am 5'6", so I am a short dude. So if I'm putting on those huge boots, they are made for someone who's like 6'3", 6'4". And so I actually have to pad out the boots, and it's literally a workout just walking around in them. It looks great, but it is physically demanding, so it's quite
Yeah,
fun.
like, I did make you guys a new pair of boots, but I said like
Yes.
they're probably. Yeah, I mean, like as I said, I wore that my dwarf armor. Obviously, it was modeled off the airborne armor that we made for the Hobbit, and my big difference is, as you told, that there's no fat suit inside my
Yeah.
costume. Obviously there was padding where the arms going to be, where the thighs going to be, to make sure you get that bulky look. But inside the chest cavity, there is no foam.
Yeah.
It's a hollow space. So otherwise, if it was foam, you will overheat in like 5 seconds.
Oh yeah. No, it's warm, especially if you're doing a convention or something like
Oh,
that. It's
I mean,
like,
like it's still hot, even though there's
yeah.
no foam. I mean, like I had a funny story when I went to Atlanta for Dragon Con the first time. I took my dwarf and my warlock at the time with me. Our hotel was about half an hour walk to the convention, but
Oh geez.
there was a shuttle, like a little shuttle minivan that take everyone to the convention every hour or so. But because the dwarf was so wide and so big, there's no way I can fit into those minivan, and I can't sit down. So I had to walk from the convention floor, from my hotel to the convention, half an hour in the Atlanta heat, which is probably about close to 30
Yeah.
degrees the time of year. And man,
Jeez.
when I got there, I was like drenched.
Oh God,
Yeah,
that's like the worst feeling too, because you're in
yeah,
your costume, but you're like just so physically and mentally exhausted at that
yeah,
point in
yeah,
such heat that you're like, oh no.
yeah. 'Cause I
Uh,
remember I got there. I got to the foyer of the lobby of the hotel. I found a little air vent. I just stood
yeah.
there and I find the air vent. It's like, ah, it's the
Just
best
the whole
feeling
time,
ever.
just stand guard.
Yeah,
Just
pretty
pretend
much.
you're doing a
Yeah,
character thing.
yeah.
You're just trying to cool off.
I was just posting my this with my ex in my hands and just like, I'm just standing here. You want to take a photo? Just come to me. I'm not going to go anywhere else.
That's great.
Yeah, yeah. So since then, all my costume has never been that big ever again.
No,
I,
fair enough.
yeah,
It's yeah, quite demanding, eh?
yeah.
But
And then
yeah.
like, I feel for the guys too. They make those massive Overwatch character and like those like Reinhardt and those massive costume. I
That's
mean,
pretty
man,
cool, but yeah,
yeah,
you've got to have. I'm incredibly interested in the internal structures of those
yeah,
costumes and how
yeah,
people actually maintain like any form of posture during,
yeah,
walking around like that. Like
yeah,
it's an incredible feat of, ingenuity and
yeah,
engineering to be able to do that with any
yeah,
material, really. Like
yeah,
it doesn't
yeah,
matter if it's lightweight,
yeah.
foam gets heavy at some point.
Yep. When you put a few layers of foam together, it's pretty crazy. That's for sure. Nice. Hey guys, you got any questions for Kevin? Definitely make sure you write on you comment and I'll see it. That's for sure.
Yeah, throw them in there. I
Yeah,
know
sure.
there's some international viewers here, but
Yeah,
if you're in Wellington, I've got a show coming up that we've got a digital rehearsal after this, which is
yeah,
going to be fun, but it's like we've lost like 10 days of rehearsal time,
yeah,
potential rehearsal time.
yeah.
It's called Little Town Liars. It's going to be at Bats Theater from the 5th to the 9th of October. So tickets
Oh,
are on
nice.
sale now on the Bats website. So it's
Yeah,
a really silly musical set in the southern United States
yeah,
in the 50s. And it's got drugs and aliens and a bunch of silly stuff. So it's
yeah,
going to be fun. Everyone
yeah.
talks in a southern accent, so it's going to be silly. So if that's
Nice.
your kind of jam, then definitely get some tickets to that. Um, Gary Sinise. Oh my goodness. What a compliment. Thank you very
I'm
much.
I have no idea who he is, but
Gary
nice to meet you.
Sinise played Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump.
Oh,
He
nice.
played, yeah,
That's
he was
awesome.
in the movie rendition of, oh, what's it called? Famous book. Oh, I'm losing it at the moment. He's been in a lot of stuff. Gary
Yeah, I think I
Sinise is
know who he is.
great.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, thank you. That's a compliment. No, I've gotten a few different people before. I think if I had to do a cosplay of anyone, it would probably be a Patrick Warburton character because I love Patrick Warburton. He's probably one of
Yeah.
my favorite voiceover artists.
Nice.
Uh,
All right.
who
We then have
played hmm?
got a question here from Jess.
Oh yeah.
What character have you loved playing the most and why?
What character do I love playing the most and why? Um, it, let's see. Uh, that's a really good question. I like playing at work. I like playing the orcs just because and you can take it in a bunch of different ways, and that's quite fun. You can do like a nasally one,
Yeah.
or you can really get into the deep. Meat's back on the menu, boys. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so that's really fun. On stage, I was in this musical. It was the New Zealand premiere of Gutenberg the Musical, which is a off-Broadway production that happened probably 2011, something like that, in New York.
Yeah.
Um, and that musical, it's a two-person musical, and basically they are trying to pitch their kind of Disney-like musical to the audience.
Yeah.
And since it's only them and they have no budget, they switch characters by using different hats to portray each
Yeah.
character. And so that was probably the most fun I've ever had on stage because it was basically an hour and a half of me switching characters every 10 seconds
Yeah.
and having to do physical and vocal differences between them. And so you'd go from like, uh, an old German woman to this like crazy monk character who's got
Yeah.
like this southern accent and he's like evil, and it would just be two extremes back to back. It was incredible.
It
So that was probably my favorite stage experience.
must be quite tiring to spend a whole hour constantly switching back and forth, your body and your mind to these different characters. That's for sure.
It was exhausting, but
Yeah.
you can listen to the Broadway soundtrack, and you kind of get a feel for what they do.
Yeah.
Christopher Fitzgerald stars in it. He's one of my all-time favorites
Yeah.
actors on Broadway as well. So yeah, Gutenberg the musical. If you want to just get a few laughs and listen to something silly, and you like musicals and stuff, that's what to listen to. But yeah, that's my favorite stage experience. And voice acting wise. It would probably be the balloon stuff, just because that was kind of my first taste of like a real professional setting. I got flown up to Auckland to record the voices and everything, and I got to meet a lot of the people involved with the game and like director of the game and stuff like that. So that was super fun, just because it was like, oh, this is kind of a taste of the life. And now I don't want to give it up. So
Yeah.
let me
It's
let me
hard,
try and let me try and
yeah.
chase the dragon a little bit. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
I mean, that's how it is in this industry. You have, once you find something you enjoy, then you have to pretty much go for it.
Yeah.
There's no kind of like, oh, I'll give it a little dab here and there. But if you love it, man, you have to pursue it. Show your passion and go for it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. No,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Working at what has provided me with a lot of skills in that area. Ultimately, I still want to go out and perform for a living eventually. But what is such a good place to build connections and to learn different tools of the trade, and to learn how the industry works, and to actually be able to navigate some of those conversations, and what executives think, and what these big studios think about certain things, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely become like good life learning skills, working there, because you have to, you can't, you don't want to be pigeonholed into one specific department. That's how I feel anyway. And then if you were just a painter, and once the painting job's gone, so are you. So you have to be a lot more outgoing. You have to be able to sell yourself, able to network with different people, able to to ask questions, able to it's really like a life experience working there, which is really cool.
Oh, for sure.
I
And
would say for you, tourism as well. You have to be able to come up with ideas, I guess, for doing tours, for doing events. So there's a lot of thinking behind that as well.
yeah, well, this lockdown, actually, one of the main things that I was tasked with was kind of leading the Auckland crew to develop alternative scripts for different events at Weta Workshop Unleashed, which is pretty cool. So that included like different hosted events, and like Halloween. We did a huge like Halloween script for October. That's going to be
Halloween
so
soon.
much fun.
The
Yeah.
next one's gonna be cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be really, really fun. And that's just a good exercise in kind of taking the mundane and things that you do maybe every single day and just switching it up. It is, there's performative elements to it. You don't have to be, a performer to do what I do, but I think it definitely helps. And if you approach it with that lens, then you can take more out of it, which I think has fueled me the past few years. I don't think it's a long-term thing for everyone, but for me, it's definitely been able to keep the balance right, and it's a place I really enjoy working. So that's been awesome.
As I said, if you guys, obviously, most of you guys don't not aware of been to Unleash. I've been there a couple of times now, and it's really cool how the tour guys really get into it. When we won't do too much of a spoiler. Obviously, you go to there's a main door that it says locked, it's out of commission, and they take you through to a secret door, and the way they talk to you, how they get into the character, is really different. It's different than a normal tour where they come, oh hi, welcome to this space. This is this prop. This is this prop. It's more like a theater kind of show. It's more like a performance as you come through the space, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we had discussed early on.
Yeah,
It was Unleashed is kind of special because it was one of the projects I had been at Weta for its entire inception. Like
yeah,
when I came onto the workshop floor, the first thing I saw on the workshop floor were
mm,
Mulan stuff,
yeah,
which blew my mind. And I was like, so like I was like couldn't talk about it to anyone. I was
mm,
like, oh, geez.
yeah, yep.
So yeah, but amazing
Welcome to
stuff
my
that we
world.
made. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. So amazing stuff that we made for that film, but that was kind of the first thing that I walked into. But Unleashed was something that had fully developed since I had been there, and
yeah,
I actually got to be a part of some of that development, which was awesome.
yeah,
And so, in terms of, when they were hiring, it was like it's really important that they do treat it as somewhat a performance. It doesn't have to be over the top, but it does
mm,
lend itself to that kind of quirkiness that you would
yeah,
get at a different attraction, and that's
yeah,
something that I think makes it really unique and special. So yeah, if you haven't been there, definitely go. All the guides
yeah,
do a tremendous job, and
yeah.
they do, yeah, they're just awesome people and characters in the experience as well.
You mean the only thing I have to compare it to? Obviously, I went to Disney World a few years ago, and it does have that similar kind of feel as well. Where is I said like the hosts, they are immersed in the world. So as you come in, you're no longer in the normal world. You actually
Yeah,
come into a different world. So which is really cool. It kind of like gives you the escape. Like when I go watch a movie, I want to escape from the real world. Like for when I saw The Matrix for the first time, so even the Truman Show. When you're watching
yeah.
the movie, you're taking it out of the real world into a fantasy world, and that's how all the hosts of Unleashed is done to the public. They've now taken you away from your real mundane world. You're now into the Unleashed world, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of any experience or film or theater production. I think that's why good acting is really important and good performance is really
Mm,
valuable, because you can make the space look as dressed up and cool as
mm.
you want,
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, if the guide's not into it or they're not
yeah,
paying any, they're not letting you kind of soak that world in or immersing you any further, giving you a little
mm,
push,
yeah,
then it's not going to fully grab you
yeah,
and kind of get you immersed into that production, whatever it is.
yeah, yeah,
That's why, certain films, a lot of people are just bored the whole time they
yeah,
watch it because it's
yeah,
not grabbing them in a certain way. But it's like, you watch something like Lord of the Rings and it's incredibly immersive from top to bottom, and that's from all sorts of things. But if
mm,
it had bad acting, it would
mm,
probably, if Ian McKellen wasn't, it was supposed to be Sean Connery who was Gandalf
yeah,
at first. I
yeah.
don't know how that, like Sean Connery is a great actor, but it would have been
Yeah,
a completely different
a bit,
series of films.
be more of like a James Bond Gandalf, more like
Yeah.
a stud
Frodo.
Gandalf. It's a stud Gandalf trying to
Yeah.
hit on all the females on set.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
That'd be. I mean, like one thing that I do, you know how like the new Justice League has came out, it's called the Zack Snyder cut. I would love to see the Guillermo del Toro Hobbit.
Yeah,
Also we work at Weta, and I've seen all the concept work, and I've seen all the markets that are done for it, and it's so different to Peter
so
Jackson's
different.
one. I mean, like, I wish that obviously the age of the multiverse with Marvel and DC right now, we should go to that universe and see his one. It's such a cool comparison to have between the two.
Yeah, I would have loved to see it just because it would have been so gritty. It would have been
Yeah,
so dark and like,
yeah,
his whole style is dark fairy tale.
yeah,
If you've seen Pan's Labyrinth, that sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So the fact that he would have taken that in a completely different direction,
Yes. Not knocking the one,
not
the one.
knocking the one
No.
that came out, that
Yeah.
was riddled with, Peter Jackson kind of took that
Mm.
on its last legs, it was
Yeah.
almost just not a thing. Uh, but yeah, it would have been a different film. I would have loved to see that.
Yeah. Even give us the trailer. Just give us a feel a trailer.
Yeah,
I just want to see. I just want to see what would have been like. Also seeing all the concept and the trolls, how they sculpted the trolls. I was like, we can't say too much about it. We can trouble, but it's so different.
yeah.
It's like, oh man, I just want to see it. Give us a trailer. Give us like a minute. Stupid what it would look like.
Well, we've got the one of the goblin suits in the tour space now in Wellington,
Yeah,
which is pretty
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
And that's just it's like people ask all the time. They're like, "What's that?" You know, because it
Oh,
looks so
that
out of place with everything. And I'm like, "Aha, yeah, that's
the
really
small
cool."
guy, the small,
Yeah,
yeah, he's cool.
next
He's creepy.
to Sauron's costume,
Yeah, he's creepy. Yeah. What's even
Two
weirder
Rings
like this?
Double O Seven.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nice
What
work.
was
Nice
that?
work on it. We like, I feel like we're so lucky to have so many like inspirational objects in the workshop. You know, especially in the tour space. You know, we like also
Yeah.
we had the tour space at work, which is like the window into the workshop, which is amazing. And so like it's like a film history of where the workshop, which is really cool. And then we have the Unleash, where it's all our own stuff, and it's the whole new world where you go in. There's nothing like that in New Zealand. Nothing at all like
No,
that.
it's
I mean,
I just feel like it was the amount of work that went into those film concepts and knowing that they're not going to be actual
yeah,
films is just
yeah,
heartbreaking because it's just so they're each of them would make amazing films.
yeah,
And that's just a testament to what Weta does so well is that they can take those concepts and they can make them exactly what they look like on paper. And I think it's some of the best designers in the world really for that
yeah,
reason
yeah.
is that they can just take those imaginary worlds that you see on paper and just put it straight onto the film.
No, the Unleash is
Oh,
not a
sorry, yeah.
movie.
No, it's Weta's new experience up in Auckland. So it's
Yeah,
a location-based experience that we
yeah,
worked on in Sky City Convention Center, which is
yeah.
really amazing. So if you get a chance to go, definitely do.
I mean,
You
like,
know,
if you want to, you go to Instagram page. You can just type in Weta Unleash, and it'll come up, which is really cool.
yeah,
Yeah, man. So what is your, let's say, within Unleash, there's three world.
yeah.
If you were to be an actor in one of those movies, which one would you pick?
Age of Everclan, without a doubt.
Yeah,
But it would be fun doing like, yeah, I think Age of Everclan because you would definitely probably do it with mocap these
yeah,
days, and I've
yeah,
always wanted to do mocap.
yeah.
If anyone is doing mocap out there and they need someone,
Call me.
definitely go for it. Yeah, call
Yeah,
me because then you with the voice acting as well because they're
yeah.
all kind of
And
dinosaurs
dinosaur
that have
sauce.
evolved. And
Yeah,
so the voices would be super intriguing. And then
yeah,
the mocap with that, basically, it would be similar to Avatar, but I think just like more, I don't know, more fantasy, more,
oh, all right, all right.
characters to work with.
So while we're here, I can put you on the spot right now.
Yeah.
What would the let's just start with the good guy first. Obviously,
Okay.
the king of the herbivores is the Triceratops. So, what kind of voice will he have?
A Triceratops would have a nice, round English accent. It would be deep in tone, and it would herald from Everclan Castle out to the masses to inspire and to rally the troops to fight the meat horde.
Nice, nice, nice. All
It would
right.
be
How about the
something
leader?
similar to that.
Yep. How about let's go to the other side then. The leader of the, which probably would be a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's I forget what it is.
It's it's a reptile. No, it's not. It's
Yeah,
bigger than that.
it would
Is it?
be it is
It's like
bigger.
it's like a V Rex or something. A V Rex and
Yeah, it's
half
something
between.
similar. It's
Yeah,
like partly, I don't know, their arms are longer than that.
yeah, yeah,
Um for that, they're those dinosaurs looking at the concept art, they're all they're mangy,
yeah,
they're bitten, they're scarred up,
yeah,
they live off of the land
yeah.
in kind of tumultuous environment.
It would be raspy. It would be similar to an orc, but it would be tight. Uh, Clenched teeth, sharp teeth.
Um and it depends on the size because you can make it deeper as well. So it's interesting to deal with characters because you have to, size is a big component. Do you go with a deep, rounded sound from down here, or do you go high pitched and make it the complete opposite?
Yeah.
Sometimes the big scary guy who has the sharp,
Mm.
it's very Looney Tunes in that
Yeah.
respect. If
Yeah. Yeah.
the extremes of both that you can
Yeah.
work with, which is quite fun.
Yeah. It's almost like He-Man, how Skeletor has such a
Yeah,
high pitched voice for
Skeletor.
such an evil guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
his one's probably the one that come to mind with the evil guy having such a high pitched voice. It's like, wow, you don't sound scary, but you look scary.
Skeletor would be one that I would love to cosplay. That would be
Uh,
easy enough, I think. I've
yeah.
seen some really good cosplays of
Yeah.
Skeletor. And you just get to be
It,
silly and pull pranks on
yeah.
people the whole time.
But it depends how you want to go real cartoony as like the old 90s or 80s
Oh yeah,
cartoons. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. You would
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
I love the Skeletor memes. The Skeletor memes are some of the best memes that are out there.
Yeah.
When he just unveils a uncomfortable truth about the world and then he runs away. Yeah, those are some of my favorite ones. They're so good.
Nice, man. That's nice. I mean, like, once it was unleashed, it's like obviously when I was watching the making of Lord of the Rings or watching Lord of the Rings, they used to have the exhibition at Te Papa. This is a long
Yeah,
time ago. So when the third film releases, they would like obviously show all the props, all the miniatures, and
yeah,
I remember seeing the Minas Tirith set for the first time, like the big set, the
yeah.
big set piece,
Bigature.
yeah, bigger. And I was like, I would love to do that kind of stuff. And then when I finally work at Weta, and knowing that the miniature team is pretty much gone, I was like, oh
Yeah,
man, it's so devastating. And obviously, I got lucky that I worked on Thunderbirds too, so I got
yeah,
to do a little bit of miniature work. But to work on Unleash and did that, the terrain, the mountain, like for the Everglades, of the castle or stuff like that, for me, it was like, oh yes, finally, I always wanted to do this
yeah,
kind of stuff, and that was so cool.
for sure.
All
Oh,
right,
we've got some.
you got two challenges. Wow,
All
it's
right.
like, hey guys, you want Kevin to do a voice for you? Post them
Yeah,
up.
I
Let's
can. So I like impressions. I
yeah,
will not say that I'm good at impressions. I think I'm good at a few impressions,
yeah.
compared to some other folks that I know. Let's
Mm.
see. Morgan Freeman. I just wanted to say a little story about a man named Andy Dufresne.
That's pretty good.
That's my Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, Arnie's got
Um,
his
Arnold,
catchphrase.
Arnold, get to the chopper.
I
That's
had the same one. I had the same one.
everyone goes to get to the chopper. Everyone's got an Arnold. Everyone's got a Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a Christopher Walken. Wow,
But I mean,
weapon
like,
of choice.
what would you go to though? What would be the one you like? That you got down like perfect.
Patrick Warburton who's one of my favorite voice
Mm.
actors. He's one
Yeah,
of the impressions that I can do really well.
yeah.
You might know him as Joe from Family Guy.
Oh,
So,
nice,
hi, Peter, hi. Or Kronk as well. Squeaker, squeak, squeak, squeaking.
nice. That's good. I mean, like, I feel like it's such a voice acting is for me. It's almost harder than acting because you have to really, cause you don't have the visual. You have to do all with your voice. So you have to be extremely more like extremely detailed with your voice. You have to make sure you get all the pitch right, all the tone right.
I
It's
feel like
pretty hard.
I feel like it's in some capacity it's easier because I've done
Hmm.
stuff with cameras, I've done stuff on stage, and I've done
Hmm.
stuff with just a microphone.
Hmm.
And just a microphone is always so freeing because you lose all sense of embarrassment because it's only
Oh,
being
you're right.
recorded through the one device. And
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter if you look silly and it doesn't
yeah,
matter if, your face doesn't look great that day or anything that,
yeah,
it's like all of
yeah.
those
Fair
insecurities you
enough.
don't necessarily see. You find other insecurities within the
Yeah,
voice stuff,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I feel like that's actually that's more fun in that respect in terms of just being incredibly free from that kind of social stigma that
yeah,
you get with being in front of a camera
Yeah, you're right.
or I was doing those Frank the Crayfish commercials for the Wellington
That's
City
right.
Council.
That's
So I
right.
was in this huge fucking crayfish
Yeah,
costume, which was great.
yeah,
I loved it, but it was really hot, and it was like the middle of summer, and the whole time I'm just like, I don't know what my face looks like. That's the
yeah,
only real part that I can express with because this
yeah,
costume's so huge, and I
yeah.
couldn't actually place what it was. So they finally came out, and I feel like I'm someone who's just really self-conscious when I see myself on a
Oh,
video
oh,
production.
yeah. Oh, I'm the same. I
Yeah,
mean, that's why when I first started cosplaying, for the first maybe 3 years,
yeah,
I always wear a helmet. I was so insecure about my face. I mean, it's bad enough trying to pose with your body, then you're trying to
yeah.
pose with your face too. Is so much. It's too hard. I was too self-conscious, so I just had a helmet on constantly every time.
Some people can do it really well,
Yeah.
and then yeah, I struggle with it a bit because you think you're putting on one face when in
Yeah.
reality it might not look exactly like you want it
Oh,
to.
big
Yeah,
time.
but that doesn't mean it's not achievable for you. It just
Yeah.
means
Yeah.
that the person who's filming or taking a photo doesn't actually know what face you want to pull.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so they, a lot of the time, don't necessarily give you direction to,
Yeah.
lift your eyebrow a little bit or,
Yeah.
scowl a little bit more or something like
Yeah.
that. So I think
I
it's
had
harder in
that.
that respect.
Go ahead there, like when obviously when Weta took my profile picture for Emerald City Comic Con a few years ago, and Mandy was taking a picture of me, and I was smiling. I mean, like a subtle smile, wasn't like a big smile.
Yeah.
And then the picture came, and I looked like I'm like extremely grumpy,
Yeah.
I was actually smiling. I was trying to do like a little subtle smile. I don't do like a big smile. I look like
Yeah.
look like a goofball. I was trying to have that kind of look kind of cool, but kind of half smiling at the same time. And when the picture
It's
came out, I was like, "Hold on, where's my smile?" I was
it's
smiling. I was,
yeah, it's hard. I've got a, resting kind of grumpy face
yeah,
myself. And so it's like sometimes you just see photos of me and I'm in the background or something like that and I'm like, why am I so pissed off? And it's
yeah,
not. I'm just
yeah.
just what it comes out to be.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Every time I take a picture without my helmet, I have that. What do you call that? 1,000 yard stare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, geez.
oh,
Oh,
good catch
there you go.
with
Hey,
reflex.
good job.
Yeah, I kind
Cat-like
of looking like
reflexes. That was great.
kind of looking that way. That's what I got for my photos. That's my only face I have.
It's a good
And
one
like,
though.
yeah, remember like I try and look angry. I just look like I'm smiling, and I just I can't pull it off.
Go on then. Give us your best angry face.
I'm smiling now, so I can't do it. It's kind of like
Yeah.
kind of like that. And we're trying to look
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm charging. I like
Yeah.
have to be in front of the mirror and work on it a bit more. Maybe talk to
That's
Kevin
right.
and get
You're
the
a smiley
eyebrows in the
guy.
right place. Yeah,
You're a smiley guy, and there's nothing wrong with that.
that's why I try to keep the mouth shut. Just be angry with the mouth shut. Anyway, someone said RoboCop. I mean, like,
Oh, I've seen it probably twice, so I
I've
can't.
seen. Well, for my ones, I got one for that. One's like,
Yeah,
"Dead or alive, come with me, creep." I love that line.
yeah. Isn't
That's
it? It's very
RoboCop 2.
monotone, isn't it? Dead or
Yeah, it's like,
alive, come with
you
me,
come with
creep.
me. You come with me, creep. I love that line.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's the backstory. Mum bought it for me on the VHS. Remember those
Nice.
things? Yes, and
Yep. Oh yeah.
I think I was about 13 at the time. I'm sure RoboCop was R-rated. So
It's a violent movie. That's
yeah,
what I
man.
remember most from that film is that I was
Yeah,
watching it thinking it was like this campy 80s
yeah,
crime
yeah,
film. And
yeah,
there's so much gore and practical squibs
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff in that film. It's
There's gold,
amazing.
there's drugs, and obviously, like
Yeah.
because there was a RoboCop cartoon.
Yeah.
So we will say, oh, cool, the cartoon's out, so the movie can't be as bad. But
Right.
when you watch it, it's pretty, especially
It's pretty
RoboCop
bad.
2, it's pretty bad, man.
I
It's
haven't
like,
seen the second one, but yeah, I'll have to give it a
that,
watch.
that was the one I watched first, and I mean, it's really cool, and I love the design of RoboCop of the bad guy Kane, but it had drugs and a kid being a drug dealer, and it was
Jeez.
so it's pretty. I mean, like if they were to make the movie now, I don't think it's going to get through because like the
Yeah.
subject matter is so. I mean, like it's so bad, but again, for me, that's how it is.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think I don't know. I think there's definitely a place for it. Like, Stallone still makes a lot of great action films. Well, you could say they're great or not. You can argue, but
Yeah,
he still
yeah,
loves his practical effects, and
yeah,
that's something that I appreciate quite a bit. Is that he loves his real explosions and he
Yeah.
loves his CO2 canisters for all of his guns, and he
Nice.
loves his blood squibs and everything, and that
Okay.
stuff. I love it. It's part of the spectacle that makes film so entertaining for me.
Well, how about this? So let's talk about favorite film. Let's go with favorite action movie. Which one do you like the most? Action movie that kind of like when you think of action movie, that's the one that comes to your head first.
So, there's kind of two answers because it depends on one of the other. Would you count like adventure as another category of film that you would be asking, or
I said
would you
adventure.
lump it together?
I think that it's different. It's like action
Okay,
hero
all right.
movie.
Uh, First Blood,
Okay.
Rambo First Blood
Yeah.
is just such an amazing movie. And it
Yeah.
was almost a terrible movie that apparently Stallone almost like quit that movie because it was like 3 hours long and he had a
Yeah.
bunch of cheesy dialogue. And then at
Yeah.
the end of it, he just said, cut all my dialogue out
Yeah.
except for that one scene. And so he
Yeah.
has no dialogue
Yeah.
in that film anymore. And it just
Yeah.
makes the entire film. It's so good.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Adventure is Raiders. Raiders of the Lost Ark is
Yeah.
my favorite
There we
film.
go. So I just had
Bar none. Yeah.
Indiana Jones right there. So
Yeah.
you got a little Kenya spirit right there on chat. That's cool.
I grew up on Harrison Ford. Like Harrison Ford is an inherent part of like who I grew up idolizing. So
All right.
yeah.
You must have a good voice then. Like you must have a good Harrison Ford.
Oh, yeah. It just depends. It's
We'll pick a character. How about I'll just do Han Solo. Is probably the most easiest one to do.
oh yeah. All right.
Wait.
I'm trying to think of like the most iconic. It's one of those that I could probably do, but I've never really practiced it.
Yeah. For me, the most one when you said like I know. That's like when she said I
Yeah,
love you.
well,
It's
yeah,
like,
but you can't. Yeah, it's
you can't
in
do-
two
you can't
words.
do
You
it.
can't exactly get the
you
impression
can't do
across
it.
in 2 words. Eh?
Yeah. How about
It's a
let's-
lot. You got to get into the physicality of Harrison Ford a lot. You know, in Indiana Jones, it's very much like don't move.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
he loves his finger
Yeah.
pointing, and he's Marion, Dad. He loves screaming at
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And then he goes all relaxed, and you get the Han Solo, who's incredibly relaxed.
Yeah.
You know,
So, yeah,
what are
this
you
is fine.
talking about?
We
you
got
know?
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford. I would love to work on my Harrison Ford. I'll have to do that.
Yeah. You have your happy face and your grumpy face on different sides of
Yeah.
your face. Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah.
Nah, man. As I said, he's a great actor. I mean, like.
Oh, he's incredible.
I mean, like, what's the first movie that you watched?
Ooh. I think the first movie that my parents took me to see in theaters was the animated Hercules, the Disney Hercules.
That's
I think
cool.
I think that was the first one that they that I sat all the way through in the theaters, or at least that's the first one they remember bringing me to. So that's the first one I think I saw. How about you?
Nice.
Do you remember?
Mine was, I think it was Superman 3.
Oh
The
yeah.
one where the guy got thrown to the sun and he came out as a radioactive man. And that was the first movie I saw, and I remember going home that day. Also, my mum is a hairdresser, so
Yeah.
I get the cape that she used to wrap,
Nice.
put it around me. I found a piece of paper, drew a big S on it, and put it onto my shirt, and I
Of
tried to
course.
get my hair down as a curl. So
Nice.
I remember that. That's probably, I can say that's my first cosplay ever when I was 4.
There you go.
Seeing
That's pretty
Superman.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah, I used to say the S stand for supersonic.
Super Senate. Yeah, I love that.
That's
If Spicy
Yeah.
Tie Design didn't get made, it would have been Super Senate.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
right.
the offshoot.
Offshoot, yeah, man, that was the first one. And obviously, like when you mentioned Disney, my first one was Beauty and the Beast. That's my first
Oh,
Disney. Saw that with Mum in the cinemas, and
Got
she bought me again the VHS, and I watched it so much that I know it word by word. That's how scary it was.
Do you? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to have a sing-along night, Santa.
Oh, man.
You can sing
we-
the entirety of Beauty and the Beast.
We go karaoke and we'll do some Disney.
Yeah, we
stuff.
do need to go to karaoke. I love karaoke.
Yeah,
It'd be great.
yeah, man. All right. So how about if you were cast in a movie?
Yeah.
What kind of genre? What your character would you want to portray?
I mean, I love adventure films. Villains are always the most fun.
Oh
If
yeah,
you're a villain, you get to have the most fun. You get the cheesiest
the,
lines. You get to
yeah.
go
You get to get
crazy.
the best
You know,
costumes, the best
yeah,
props.
yeah. Villains for the most part. Very few exceptions, but villains
Yeah,
are yeah, hands down. You know, if you get cast as a Bond villain, you're instantly
mm,
iconic, right? It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah.
And yeah, yeah, a villain in anything is just a lot of fun because you get, and you get an epic dying scene a lot of the time too. You
Oh
get your
yeah,
Hans Gruber falling from the tower.
yeah.
So yeah, it's always fun to be a villain. But
Yeah, you'd be like Sean Bean in Die every movie he's in. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah. But then besides that, oh, just a character, so um I love getting completely made up into someone completely different or something completely different. That's also, I think that's why I like voice acting so much, is because you're not limited to a human form in voice
Yeah.
acting. So I think that's another that's probably first to close second as well, because it's just, yeah, limitless, and you can come up with all of these amazing offers and voices, and there's so much room for potential. So definitely something non-human as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I say like it's always fun to play a different creature. Obviously, like I have thought about making like creatures costume, but I still like I just haven't got the room or the space to really do it.
No, yeah,
It'd be quite
it's
cool for
quite a
one day.
task.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's not just it's why you hold your body as well. You have to like a human body, stand this way, but if you can do a creature, you have to like distort your body to get the creature
Well, it's a huge
across.
part of it,
Yeah,
it's like Andy Serkis portraying
mm,
so many different characters in a
yeah,
mocap suit and kind of
yeah,
really revolutionizing what you could do with that is
yeah,
is testament to it. But it's just amazing what you can do with that tech nowadays,
yeah,
and it's quite good because it still keeps the practical element there. You're still
yeah,
keeping a physical performance, and but it's kind of the best of both worlds, honestly. That's why I like to tell
mm,
people on tour. It's like, it's not completely animated. You
mm,
have your core animation that your digital team is mocking up, but then you
yeah.
have your physical performance of it, and you're
Mm.
just putting those together, which is
Oh,
really cool.
I mean, that's what I tell people all the time. It's not one or another. It's they physical and digital always work best when they work together.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
they complement each other. Is you know one company or one style is not superior. They do work as a pair.
yeah,
People ask me, they're like, "Oh, how you feel about guys with Digi?" I said, "Yeah, they do amazing stuff, and so do
yeah.
we. And it's all about working together. It's not about hey, I'm better than you, you better than me, or
No,
whatever. It's not there."
it's an ugly way to look at it because it's like a
Mm,
lot of these huge, film, practical effects or digital effects companies. It's like people don't realize that sometimes they're working together on the same
mm,
project. It's
yeah,
like that can be a thing that happens, and all of those companies want the same end result. They want the
yeah,
movies to do as well as possible, and they want to keep making them. So,
yeah.
so it's like yeah, there's an inherent kind of collaboration that goes on, which is cool.
Yeah, man, it's definitely some pretty yeah, it's some pretty cool movies that's coming out, and I mean, like, look at the Mandalorian, for instance. They got so many like this whole Star Wars universe. They got
Yeah,
really physical peak guys in suits. Then they have the amazing digital stuff as well. So it just shows
yeah,
that it's nice that it's coming back around again.
yeah,
Where it did went away for a little bit, where obviously technology being so new, people are super excited about it. Oh, let's
yeah,
try this, let's try that. But
yeah,
now the directors they are bringing it back to the old school. They
yeah,
want to have physical makeup because
yeah,
you do get a nicer performance when you're acting with someone who's actually in the makeup rather than
yeah.
guys who are just in dots.
Well, exactly, and it's not you have options these days because there's so many new
Yeah,
materials out there.
yeah,
You're not just limited to gelatin and foam latex. You have
yeah,
all these different kinds of silicon, and there's probably other materials I don't even know about that are can be used that are
yeah,
kind of you know uh, different in one way or another. So yeah, I love prosthetic. Like ever since I came to Weta, prosthetics has just blown my mind. It's been one of my key things that just gets me really excited is just
yes.
seeing prosthetics and learning how they work. And that's definitely my main area of interest because being a performer, it's just I'll have some horns that I got from the workshop and I can
Yeah.
put them on and I can be the devil whenever I want to. It's like
Yes,
it's
yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah,
It's fun.
yeah. I mean, like, we both lucky enough to both be dwarf. I got to be a dwarf for a night. That was quite cool. And
Yeah.
for me, the weirdest part was the ears.
Yeah.
Kind of when the ears go on, it's like having a ear muff on. You lost a bit of your senses. For
Yeah.
me, that was the hardest part to get over. But I was lucky enough that I didn't have the full face. I just had I had the ears and the nose,
Nose.
and I was then just the beard. So I was lucky. That's all I had. But for the guys who play bomber, imagine having your whole face covered.
Well, because it's not even that.
Yeah,
It's a full face and neck
yeah,
piece, like a
yeah,
jowl, and then
yeah.
he has the fat suit, and
Yeah.
then he has the
The
costume
costume you had,
and the hair,
yeah.
it's insane. It's
I
like
mean, like,
probably 30 kgs worth of
yeah,
stuff. Like it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
And the part where they like in the river,
Yeah.
he got totally soaked in the fat
Yeah.
suit. Lucky the dude didn't go under. We're like, wow.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's yeah, I mean, safety comes first, right? But yeah, getting
yeah,
into a pool in a costume like that, I would
yeah,
be
yeah,
like, you guys sure? Because
yeah.
I can't breathe underwater.
But maybe he's got like a life jacket underneath the fat suit. Hopefully,
Oh
will
yeah, I'm
keep
sure
him.
they had a million
Hopefully,
safety
keep him. Yeah,
precautions and
yeah.
underway.
But it looked pretty cool. That barrel scenes in the making of the movie, that part
Yeah.
where it's like a massive whirlpool. I would love to jump on that for a ride. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I think
Chris,
question.
Christian. Well, there is a not illegally, but there is a place in UK called a prop store, and they do sell movies, props, and costume auction every now and then. I've seen our stuff sold on there,
Yeah.
but I've never seen it on eBay or some those kind of places. Obviously,
Nah.
you'd be silly enough to do that kind of stuff. Otherwise, you'd be
Yeah.
caught and you'd be
Exactly. You'd be out of the
gone.
industry pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Blacklisted.
blacklisted. I mean, like as I said, like we're lucky. Every day I go to work and all the costumes and props are there, so I don't need it to have it at home because it's there right in front of me. I just have my own stuff behind. It's way better.
It's true.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Oh,
All right,
cool.
it's been an hour.
Yeah, this is
A
awesome.
good
This
chat.
was so much
Yeah,
fun. Thanks, man.
yeah, man. No, thanks for joining me. As I said, like it's been. I always want to do more of these. Obviously, we on lockdown now, so I might as well, do them,
Yeah.
get more used to them, and maybe once we go back to normal, I might do them once a week or something. See how we
Yeah,
go.
I think it's a great idea, and yeah, yeah, get a proper microphone and audio setup
Yeah,
and stuff
man.
like that, and
Oh,
get going.
yeah,
It'd
yeah,
be
man.
cool. You should make like a legitimate podcast out of it. I think it would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, no, yeah, great interviewing as well. So I
Oh,
really
thanks, man.
appreciate when it's so casual like this that
Yeah,
it can just kind of flow so
yeah.
naturally. So thank you very, very much.
No worries, and we'll catch you at probably around 3 o'clock for some workouts,
Yeah,
man. That's right. So Kim and I are gonna
be
do
sweet.
some boxing today and get our body moving. And then
That
Kevin
won't
can
be on
fit.
Instagram Live.
It is. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Thanks, Kevin, for joining me. And
Cheers.
we'll catch
Thanks,
you next time.
guys.
See ya. See you,
Bye.
man. Bye. Oh, you're still there. All right. Awesome, guys. Thank you for watching that. Obviously, tomorrow I'll have Chris Mendes on at the same time, 11 a.m. So Kevin, not Kevin. So Chris is obviously worked with Peter Lyons in the sword making area of the workshop. So join in tomorrow at 11 a.m. with some questions about making swords, making weapons, and obviously he does cosplay as well. So looking forward to see you guys tomorrow. Once again, thanks for watching. And catch you later. Thank you. Bye.